everyone, it's me, Cameron. I am back with a video. I am looking very pregnant. I am now 29 weeks. It feels great. I entered the third trimester. When I posted my announcement video about the pregnancy, I was just entering trimester 2. It was a weird video to post. It was so amazing though to share with you all, and I received such love and support and joy back from all of you, and I want to thank you for that. Your support and comments really touched me, and it felt amazing to be able to share this with you. So thank you for all of the sweet words you gave me. It really meant a lot to me. I am just gonna post a few words about how I'm feeling and what's going on in the pregnancy, things like that, because I posted on Instagram on my Blushing Foreigner account. I have a few bump dates, so I have posted a few pictures of how my stomach is looking, and I would have to say the biggest change in how I look has come in the last just 2 weeks alone. From week 27 to 29, I've really gotten a big belly. I mean, it popped and it looks like I swallowed a volleyball or something. I know it's going to become like a basketball. It's going to get bigger, but right now I look down and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It's such a wild and cool experience. I started feeling the baby kick around week 21, 22, that was when you get the little flutters. And then 23, 24, you're like, oh, no, these are kicks, and it feels just amazing. He's very active. I can feel him quite a lot, especially at night when I lay down. He's just kicking, and usually it takes about 5 seconds from the time Martin puts his hand on my stomach to feel him, and when he can feel a kick. It comes on that strong. And another thing that I think is so funny is we've figured out he kind of responds to music. So as a test, I'm like, let's play him some Dolly Parton, because Dolly Parton is my favorite. So we played him Jolene because he was being a little quiet one evening and I wanted to feel him kick. So I just got out the iPhone and played Jolene. Took literally like 2 seconds and he was like, boom, and then he did it again. And we just pictured him rocking out to Jolene. It was so cute. I felt really good in the second trimester. I was so relieved to no longer have the nausea that I had all of the first trimester. That was tough, to be honest. I'm not complaining. I was so grateful to be able to feel such nausea in my pregnancy because it's a good sign. But it was uncomfortable. I think I lost a few pounds in the first trimester, but now I've definitely made up for it. I think I am up about, I don't know, 5 or 6 kilos, which is 12 pounds or so. I think 12 to 15 maybe. I have no idea. I haven't really been obsessing about my weight, but in the second trimester, I've definitely felt good. And so I was able to eat and just kind of do my normal thing. It was a really good, happy time. Now that I'm in the third trimester, I can say I'm a little more uncomfortable. It's kind of harder to sleep at night, and I have to make a little nest of pillows and sleep on my sides and kind of roll around and have a pillow between my legs. And you get creative with how you sleep because you're supposed to sleep on your sides. You can't sleep on your back any longer. And if I do lay on my back, I feel like I can't breathe. It's something about the baby, the weight of the baby is on like an artery, or it kind of affects your circulation, but I get out of breath and I just don't feel good. So little discomforts like that. I don't mean to complain, but I feel it sometimes. But overall, I think I've had a really good pregnancy. Physically, I felt good and I felt happy for the most part. I've had quite a few ultrascans this entire pregnancy, and week 13, the ultrasound was very good. We had done a nip test as well. We knew it was a boy. And then they have you go back at week 20 and they do something called the anatomy scan. And that scan was a little harder because they saw some issues with his kidneys. They seemed to be dilated. There was a communication barrier too. The nurse was trying to do it in Danish and I understood a bit, but then I asked questions in English. So she just said, we have to keep an eye on the kidneys because it's both of them and they seem bigger than they're supposed to be. And when they're bigger, that means inflammation. And they also said, oh, it happens to boys, so we're not that concerned, but just come back in a week or in 8 days. We'll scan again and measure the kidneys. So the anatomy scan is where they're measuring all the organs, the head, the body, the length, everything. So it's very thorough. And that was the only thing where they were like, oh, it's less than perfect. So we went back for that scan. I actually made a blog post about it because it was kind of hard at the time. Martin couldn't go to that scan with me at week 21. And at that point, the kidneys looked worse. They were not sad. They were just a little more like, you have a couple markers for cystic fibrosis. We also had a marker with what they call a bright bowel. So I had 2 markers for cystic fibrosis. And I was very confused and a little scared, obviously. You just want to go in and hear that your baby's perfect and not hear, oh, there's a few things that we're kind of concerned about. We weren't going to do an amnio. They offered me one and said, would you like an amnio or CVI, I guess it's called? No, I can't remember. But we weren't going to do that. I said, absolutely not. I'm not going to do anything that could risk this pregnancy. What they wanted to do was just keep an eye on his kidneys, because that was the main thing, where if they're really inflamed, it could be a sign of obstruction in both of them. And if they're obstructed, the kidneys don't grow well, they don't develop, and they could die. And if that's very, very bad, obviously. So they had to keep an eye on that. And I was scared and sad, and Martin wasn't there. He had a work event in Sweden of all days. So I called him and I downplayed my, my concern. I just said, oh, the doctor said this, and it was a really great doctor. She was fantastic. I've gotten such good care at Rikshospitalet, where they are monitoring me. And Martin was just like, what am I doing in Sweden? Why aren't I here with you? And I called my best friend Tanya, and she really helped me out and just talked me down and said, your baby's going to be fine. It's just the way technology is now, where it can pick up so much, and things that 10 years ago were not detected were never really a concern. They wouldn't come to any real problems. So these problems will probably resolve. And so we had another test 3 weeks later. So this is week 24 pregnancy, almost week 25. And there was improvement to his kidneys. So only one of them is now inflamed. The other one is normal size. And that's wonderful. And there didn't seem to be the bright bowel that there was last time. A bright bowel can be basically, it's like too white on the screen, and so they worry about blockages or inflammation, but that no longer seemed to be a problem, so it did resolve itself. So we're feeling very lucky about that. And then we'll have another scan. We had one a few days ago with the maternal fetal medicine doctor at the hospital, and she was just basically checking on his size. She wasn't looking at the organs. And she said, okay, you're going to have a big baby. He is already in like the 95th percentile, I think it was. He's just big. He is the size, at week 29, he was the size of the average baby at almost week 32. So, I mean, I feel great about it. I think that's a really good thing that he is a big baby. But part of me is like, oh my gosh, if he keeps getting bigger and bigger, I could be delivering a baby that's 10 pounds plus. And who knows why? I haven't gained that much weight. I think it's all baby, and I'm so glad he's getting fat and cute. He started putting on fat, I think, pretty early, around like week 25, 26, which is early for a fetus. Yeah, it's gonna be a big one, and I'm very, very happy about that. It's so cute. Yeah, we had a little celebration when I was in California. I don't know if I want to call it a baby shower, but it was a gathering of just family, friends. Some family members from LA flew out for it, which was so touching. My uncle, my aunt, my cousin, some of my cousins who live in San Francisco and the Bay Area drove in, and it was just like a pool party. It was really casual but beautiful. My sisters did an amazing job. It was at my parents' house. I was a little divided because I know you're not supposed to have like family technically host your baby shower, but it was a no gifts kind of event, just like come celebrate the baby on the way. And it was so fun. It was really nice to see people and just share in the joy of this miracle with all these people who have known about the journey and have been there through our struggles and can now be happy for us. So it was a really, really fun evening, and I'm glad I did it. At first I was like, no baby showers. I was freaked out about the thought of it. I just felt like, no, I've shared with you my problems with that, or my issues with it, not problems. But I'm glad I came around and decided to go for it, because it's a special thing that we're going through, and it's nice to celebrate it with other people. So that's it. I'm going to post a few pictures of the bump. Hopefully I'll find a few. I posted on Instagram, as I said. So you can actually see a few earlier pictures from and see. But right now I'm feeling huge. I'm like so afraid to share with you how big I am, because like, look at this. It's I look huge. And I'm definitely carrying him low, my mom said. She was like, oh, you're carrying low. I don't know why. It's not like my whole torso is baby. It's just the lower portion. And that's fine. It's just the way my body is. I think it's because I have a longer waist that the baby can just kind of stay in a fixed position and he doesn't have to stretch out everywhere. Although he probably could. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you again for watching and sticking by and being so sweet and awesome as you guys are. One last thing to mention, and I need to go here in this discussion, in this video. Today is Mother's Day, and I'll probably post this video on Monday, so it may no longer be Mother's Day. But I want to wish all of the mothers out there watching this a happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a beautiful day or a great weekend. And all of my friends and subscribers and viewers who are not yet mothers, who are mothers in their heart but do not have children, I am thinking of you today. I am praying for you, and I'm sorry that you're probably having a tough day. I know how painful it is to go through Mother's Day with infertility or fertility struggles. It is such a hard day. You are not alone and you're not forgotten, and I'm with you, and I hope you get through it. I just want to say that because I know where I was 1 year ago on Mother's Day. I was actually in California, and it was such a hard day. It was painful. We went out and had brunch. I was with my sisters. They're both mothers. 2 out of my 3 sisters are mothers, and they tried to downplay it for my sake. I could tell they weren't doing flowers and gifts, and they did that at home, so I didn't have to see all that. So I tried to make it a day about honoring my mom and my 2 beautiful sisters who are great moms. But I got home from brunch and I started writing, and I sat at the kitchen table of my parents' house and I just started bawling. And I just remember all I could think of was that I felt so old and I felt so like left behind. Like all of my friends, all my family were becoming moms, and I was abandoned, and I felt abandoned by God. I felt completely alone in the world, and I just remember saying to my mom, I'm so old. I'm so old. I cannot believe I'm this old, and I don't have children yet. It was a heartbreaking day, and I'm so blessed that 1 year later I'm having a happy day, and I have a baby that will be coming in 11 weeks, and I'm incredibly blessed. So please use me as an example of miracles, that you should keep the hope. If you really want this, I hope you get it. I pray for you. Keep fighting. If you're able to get continued treatment, find a way. If you're in the US and you don't have insurance, get a job at Starbucks because they have pretty good IVF coverage there. Bank of America is another one. Walgreens. Those were literally job career opportunities I was looking at in the final phases of desperation when we weren't sure if round number 8 of IVF would work. I kept saying, I'm going to go work at Starbucks and I will get insurance coverage and do it in the US, because in Denmark we can pay a lot less for IVF, and we had to save and save, but we managed to pay for it over here. But in the US it's a lot more expensive, and we're looking at $20,000 a round. There's no way I could have afforded 8 rounds at that price, and that's like the average. Some people pay 25 to 30 depending on the clinic and the type of meds you need and all of that. So it's just expensive, and some people don't want to do IVF, and that's okay too. You don't have to do that. You might be spending the money on adoption, or you might be making peace with having a child-free life, and that's okay. That's wonderful as well. So there's all these paths and all these options, and I just wish you happiness and joy and some sort of resolution to your infertility. Last week was actually National Infertility Awareness Week. Yeah, I think it was last week. It's funny that it's actually the week before Mother's Day. I think that's kind of cool that they do it like that. And there was a theme, and this year's theme is Start Asking, #StartAsking. I think it's a good thing because it's about pushing people to ask questions, to take responsibility for their fertility, to talk to their doctor, to ask their friends for help, to just sort of open a dialogue about infertility, because it is a subject that is so much in the closet that people don't talk about. And I think it hurts so much to go through infertility, miscarriage, pregnancy loss, struggles, all of those things about family building, and to do it alone. It is absolutely devastating to feel alone in those struggles. So the idea of Start Asking is just to motivate people to ask questions, to talk about it, maybe open up and explore the subject of fertility, because we have a lot of progress to make, I think, as a society in a lot of countries, to just help women and families not feel the burden of the pain of infertility so hard, and to just share it among friends and family. Anyways, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm like so out of breath right now. I can't believe it. I'm gonna go get a smoothie from the kitchen. I hope you guys are well, and I will talk to you again. Maybe there'll be a baby in my arms next time I see you. Who knows? Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you later.